Okay, did I just hear someone say, I need a doctor? Oh well, the doctor is in.
I cross the void beyond the mind, the empty space that circles time. I see where others stumble blind to seek a truth they never find. Eternal wisdom is my guide. I am the doctor.
All right, moving up, straight ahead, the doctor is in the house right away. All right, all of me remains Vicky Lonia, and in this case, I am Dr. Vicky Lonia because I am officially welcoming you to the only online radio health program that has your health and total well-being in mind. This is Doc Talk, right here on yours truly, solely for your listening pleasure, Vicky Lonia Radio. Yes, and today on Doc Talk, we are going to be looking at a very broad topic. In fact, it's so broad that we're not going to be looking at everything all at once. We're going to take a part of the topic today, and then tomorrow we'll take the remaining part of the topic. So, do I go ahead and bring the action?
Bring the action.
I am so excited. Anytime I hear that ready, that means it's time for action. So, straight up moving up. The last time we were on Doc Talk, we talked about dementia. Yes, we talked about dementia. Today we are going to be looking at a health condition called amnesia. All right, there's a lot of difference between dementia and amnesia, and we are going to know that as the program progresses. All right, so amnesia, the entire concept of amnesia. We are going to be looking at the meaning of amnesia, the symptoms, the types, the causes, the diagnosis, and the treatments. But for today, we are going to be looking at the meaning of amnesia, the symptoms, and the types of amnesia. And when we come back tomorrow, we'll look at the causes, the diagnosis, and the treatments of amnesia. You don't need to be sick before you listen to any of our medical health programs. No, you don't need to be sick. You should just be aware, be knowledgeable, be educated on these various conditions. So you can actually teach someone out there, something like that. All right, so the doctor is in. Pay attention, gather around, pay attention. Yeah. All right, so amnesia. When people lose their ability to memorize information or recall information that is stored in the memory, they have what we call amnesia. All right. See, being a little forgetful is completely different from having amnesia. Amnesia refers to a large-scale loss of memories that should not have been forgotten. These memories may include important milestones in life, memorable events, key people in our lives, vital facts that we have been told or taught, okay? And, the patient just forgets it. A patient who is going through amnesia has lost the ability to memorize information or recall information that he or she had stored in his or her memory. So people with amnesia also find it very difficult to imagine the future because they have lost track of the past and they cannot be able to construct their present in their future. Yes. So you know very well that our ability to recall, our ability to plan our future always and definitely depends on our ability to recall the past. So whereby you cannot recall the past, you will not even be able to live in your present, and you will not be able to plan the future. So just imagine this world of this uncomfortable world for a patient going through amnesia. Yeah. All right. So before we go straight to the symptom of amnesia and the types of amnesia, let's look at some quick facts about amnesia. Number one fact, amnesia is the inability to lay down new memories or recall old memories. That's number one fact. Number two fact, other symptoms of amnesia can include confusion and uncoordinated movements. Okay, and then number three fact is alcohol abuse can lead to a type of amnesia known as Winnicott-Korsakoff psychosis. We are going to be looking at that type of amnesia soon. And then Number 4 fact is amnesia can be caused by many things, including traumatic experiences and brain injury. And number 5 fact is the majority of amnesia cases always resolves without treatment. Some of the amnesia cases, they are cured without treatment. Good. Now that we know this fact, let's go over to the very, very first important part of the topic amnesia. We are going to be looking at the symptoms of amnesia. Number 1, the ability to learn new information is impaired, whereby the patient cannot learn new information. Okay, that is a symptom of amnesia, and that kind of amnesia is called the anterograde amnesia. We are going to be coming to that pretty soon. And then number 2 symptom is the ability to remember past events and previously familiar information is impaired, whereby the patient cannot remember past events and familiar information that are just stored in the memory, whereby the patient cannot remember those stuffs. That is actually a symptom of amnesia, and that kind of amnesia is called retrograde amnesia. We are also coming to that one. All right, the next symptom here is false memories. Okay, this may be either completely invented or consist of real memories misplaced in time, where the patient cannot recall, has new memories that were not there before, memories that he or she did not create, or actually has real memories but remembers them at a particular time when it didn't actually happen, something like that. We call that confabulation. All right, the next symptom here is uncoordinated movements and sometimes tremors, like neurological problems in the brain. Okay, and then we also have symptoms like confusion and disorientation, problems with short-term memory, partial loss of memory, total loss of memory, failure to recognize faces, and inability to recognize places. These are symptoms of amnesia. But mind you, amnesia is totally different from dementia. Okay, there's a huge difference between amnesia and dementia. In dementia, there is memory loss, definitely, but the memory loss comes with inability for the patient to carry out day-to-day activities without having to fall down, convulsing, shaking, shivering, stuff like that. Okay, but for amnesia, the patient goes through memory loss but still can go ahead with day-to-day activities. Right? Great. Okay, so dementia stops the patient from carrying out daily activities, body functions, and body movements. But in amnesia, the patient loses his or her memory, but still can move the body and carry out day-to-day activities. Brain can send signals to the body and nervous system, and it works. Okay, great. Now that we know this fact about amnesia and the symptoms of amnesia, and that there's a difference between amnesia and dementia, how about we go straight to the various types of amnesia? Number 1, there is what we call the anterograde amnesia. In this case, the patient cannot remember new information, things that happened recently, information that should be stored into the short-term memory that just suddenly disappears. Okay? Now, great. That is the anterograde amnesia. The retrograde amnesia is usually seen as the retrograde amnesia is the second type of amnesia, and it is usually seen as the opposite of anterograde amnesia. Now, in this retrograde amnesia, the patient cannot remember events that occurred before their trauma, but can remember things that occurred after the trauma. Great. So he forgets the past, but he forgets the past, but remembers the present. Great. All right. Now we also have another type of amnesia called the transient global amnesia. Now, in this type of amnesia, we have what we call temporary loss of all memory, whereby the patient cannot remember anything at all, both past, present, and future, cannot remember anything, even up to themselves. They cannot remember, but it is only temporary. That's why it's called transient global amnesia. It's just temporary, where the patient loses all forms of memory, even self-awareness, loses everything, but only lasts for a little while. Okay, and then after some time, the patient comes back to normal. Okay, this usually happens when a sudden trauma when there's a sudden head trauma. Now, the next type of amnesia is what we call the traumatic amnesia. This memory loss is caused by hard blow to the head, okay? For instance, a car accident, all right? Now, people with traumatic amnesia may experience a brief loss of consciousness or even go into coma. And in the majority of the cases, the amnesia is temporary, okay? How long it lasts usually depends on how severe the injury is. Great, so that's traumatic amnesia. Excuse me. All right, the next one here is the Winnik-Korsakoff psychosis. Now, this type of amnesia is caused by extended alcohol abuse. This disorder tends to be progressive and it gradually worsens over time. Patients with Winnik-Korsakoff psychosis also tend to have neurological problems such as poor coordination and a loss of feeling in the toes and fingers. It can also be caused by malnutrition, specifically lack of a particular vitamin called the thiamine vitamin, which is the vitamin B1. Okay, vitamin B1 deficiency in the body could also lead to Winnik-Korsakoff's psychosis. Great. All right, if you're just tuning in, this is Vicky Lonia Radio, and the program is Doc Talk, right here on yours truly, solely for your listening pleasure, Vicky Lonia Radio, and I am Dr. Vicky Lonia, and we are looking at this health condition called amnesia, and we are currently looking at the types of amnesia. Now, the next type of amnesia here is what we call the hysterical amnesia. This is a very rare kind of amnesia. Patients in this case forget not only their past and their future and their present, but also forget their very identity. A person could just wake up and suddenly discover that they don't have any sense, and suddenly does not have any sense of whom he or she is. Even if they look in the mirror or they look at their driving license, credit cards, ID cards, they cannot remember anything. It's so meaningless. Okay, this type of amnesia is very rare. It's very rare, but in most cases, their memory comes back slowly. However, the memory of shocking events itself may the memory of realizing that they cannot even remember who they are can suddenly make the real memories never to come back. So this is very serious. All right, the next type of amnesia here is the childhood amnesia. In this case, the patient cannot remember their childhood. They cannot remember anything in their childhood. All right, the next one here is post-hypnotic amnesia. In this case, the patient cannot remember events during hypnosis. Okay. The next type of amnesia here is source amnesia. In this case, the person cannot remember certain information that does not. The person cannot remember certain information, but does not know how. Okay, the person can remember certain information. Let's get it right. The person can remember some information, can remember certain information, but does not know how or where they got the information from. Okay, that is source amnesia. They cannot remember the source of the information, but they can remember the information, just that they don't know how they got the information. All right. Then we also have the blackout phenomenon. This kind of amnesia is caused by a bout of heavy drinking. The patient cannot remember times during, or cannot remember things that happened during the time of drinking. Okay, that is blackout phenomenon. And then we also have the last type of amnesia here called the prosopagnosia. The amnesia. Now, this person in this case cannot remember the faces of people, cannot recognize people around him or her, cannot remember faces of family and friends. Everybody just looks new and weird and, just totally unrecognizable. Great. So that is all we are going to be looking at today on amnesia. We have looked at the meaning of amnesia, the causes, the different symptoms of amnesia, and the types of amnesia. Tomorrow we are going to be looking at the causes of amnesia, the diagnosis, and the treatment of amnesia. Thank you so much for being a part of the program, and I do hope that your awareness has been piqued. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow at this time for the program Doc Talk. Before then, I remain Dr. Vicky Lonia, and this is yours truly, solely for your listening pleasure, Vicky Lonia Radio. Stay tuned. More programs will be coming your way. Today, it's Friday. Thank God it's Friday. Besides, it's new month. Happy new month. Be healthy, stay healthy, and eat healthy.
I cross the void beyond the mind, the empty space that circles time. I see where others stumble blind to seek a truth.